flex. Flex alive is more than the six. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. Should we say welterweight? Let's bleed, shall we? Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Let's do this roll call. There's some things we need to discuss ASAP. Tay-Tay, good morning. G. McCall, Troll Slayer, Rick Blackwell, Miss Van Houder, good morning, ma'am. Kawhi Elliott, salute. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Stormy B-Man in the building with everything, salute. Henry Hunter, salute. Columbia, what's going on? Robert Singleton, the Brothers UK in the building, salute. Main Biker, Mr. Tiptoe, Captain America in the building, what's going on? Sam Mack, James Pride, what up? Coach of the Truth Tellers, salute. Come on in, smash the like button, hype the video, share the video. We are our own algorithm. I say this every morning. We are our own algorithm. Let's not leave it up to Miguel to do anything for us, because Miguel likes to spoon. Miguel and Jerome. Mansa Musa, my brother, salute, man. So let's get to it. This didn't take long, right? It didn't take long. But I don't have a crystal ball, but I know how things end. I gave the example on numerous occasions. Y'all remember when I said, y'all know, shout out to all my nerds. I mean, y'all don't have to be nerds to know this, but if you grew up 70s, 80s, you know what the Super Friends were. You know, the Justice League, if you read comic books, you know, Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, you know, Flash, you know, I often ask y'all, what if the Legion of Doom, you know, Lex Luthor, Gorilla Grodd, you know, the villains, what if the villains actually won? What if they won? Would the world be a better place? What if the villains won? Do they get along? Let me ask you a question. Who do you trust? Black Manta or Lex Luthor? Who do you trust? Just pick. Who do you trust? Lex Luthor or the Joker? You're going to get it from somebody. Somebody going to stab you in the back. Somebody going to get you. Who do you trust? Let me break it down in Star Wars terms. All right, for those of you that watch Star Wars and follow me on this, if you don't know, I'm about to teach you something. I don't know much, but I've read some things, and I said, man, that's pretty gruesome. Any Star Wars fanatics in the chat? Because if I'm off on this, I want you to correct me. Anybody that's like really into Star Wars? Anybody? Just type me. It's okay. We're nerds here. But there's something I read that was very interesting. Anybody? Well, I'll say this. There's a reason why I went with the Star Wars theme. Derek Gaines, salute. You know what's unique about the Sith? What is the rule of two? Welcome, Dan Van Houder. Okay, great. What is the rule of two? And I read about this years ago, and I'm looking at Shakur and Keyshawn, and I'm like, wait a damn minute. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Now, I already said when Keyshawn called out Tank, I gave them the Highlander theme. There can only be one. Davis versus Davis. And I looked at Tank. I said, yo, you got to do something, baby. What's good? 50 Cent voice. You got to do something. Well, nothing. What he did do was he went to the strip club and beat up a chick and threw $40 million in the toilet. That's what he did do. He said, leave the Wonder Twins alone. Hey, you would think, right? Form of a maxi pad. Shape of a bloody bush. Yeah, rule of two. Master and apprentice. And how does the apprentice become the master? That's what I'm asking. How does the apprentice eventually become the master? What does the apprentice eventually have to do? That's where I'm going with this. Good. I don't think y'all following me this morning. The rule of two. You know what? I'll Google it. Rule of two. All right, I just Googled it. The rule of two is a Star Wars philosophy established by Darth Bane to ensure Sith survival by limiting their order to only two members, one master to embody power, and one apprentice to crave it. To crave it. This doctrine, designed to eliminate destructive infighting, forces the apprentice to surpass their master, fostering a cycle of increasing strength and secrecy. Do y'all understand now? What happened with Obi-Wan and Anakin? Anakin got pee-whipped, made some twins, and thought his big brother, Obi-Wan, was hating on him. And you know what happened? Who came in and clouded Anakin's mind? That's that mofo right there. The Sith Lord himself. I know how this ends. I know how this ends. These two dudes are running around with this brother stuff. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, these little N-words notoriously don't get along. Hey, Drew, nah, it's different. It's different, man. Keyshawn and Shakur, they solid. They solid. It's different. No, they're not. You know why? You ever heard Bill talk about how solid Shakur was with them? With DHP? Shakur sleeping on his couch in the house? Y'all know about that? It's been told dozens of times. What's up with you and Shakur? Well, you know, Shakur coming up, used to sleep on our couch. You know, we sparred a bunch of times, and they thought, and then he beat Lomachenko. He's invited to the pool party. He sent them bottle service over there, told him I'll sign a contract, and then his face turns into the form of a snake, and his eyes were yellow. I'm like, what's that? Oh. You see, but DHP, they ain't no Sith Lords. They're the Jedis. You see that? That was the hatred. That was the hate. We tell you, don't let it cloud your judgment. What does a Sith Lord tell you to do? Embrace it. Make sense? Embrace it. Give in to the dark side. Give in. And Shakur gave in. And Devin said, you know what? Fine, man. Let's run it. And what did he do? Nothing. But the rest of you stormtroopers, like how I did that, y'all say weird things like Devin ran to 140. I love when y'all say that. I don't understand how a fighter runs away to a higher weight division after openly saying, let's run the fight. Oh, you don't want to fight? All right, so I'm going to move on. Drop the belts with 2 weeks left in the year. I'm going to move up and I'm going to fight immediately for a title, Regis program. And that's still not good enough for y'all, but y'all choose to say he ran to 140. Let me ask you a question. The same cats that are saying Devin ran to 140 to avoid who? Shakur? Lateral move. Did y'all say that Boots ran to 54? Because guess what? He really did. Did he try to get a Brian Norman fight on the way out? Did he try to get a Devin Haney fight on the way out? No. He said, I want to be undisputed at 47. Okay, cool. Brian Norman said, run it. He put on his track shoes and said, nah, I'm a Hussein Bolt it up. And I'm looking at him and I'm looking at Eddie Hearn. I'm like, wait a minute, man. Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You couldn't get any, you couldn't do anything before you left 47? None of that? And then when we say that Eddie Hearn actually, he stops opportunity for a lot of fighters. We see this situation and we say, man, why is Eddie Hearn stopping that? And why is Boots allowing this? And then y'all turn around and say, well, Eddie will tell you, well, Boots is the one that makes the fights. It's like, no, man, he works for you. It's not the other way around. You're stopping these things. Stop telling us that the fighters make the fight. The fighters make, no, they don't. Oscar right now just stopped Ortiz versus Boots. And now I'm looking at Boots like, hey, man, you had at least 2 bangers at 147. Stop telling me you couldn't make the weight. When Devin Haney was draining his weight to make 135 all this time, and they were calling him a weight bully because he was successful. Boots couldn't stick around at 47 for at least 1 or 2 fights. Devin been doing that. He stuck around 35 to fight Lomachenko, and he tried to 2-fight Shakur on the way out. So you clowns pick and choose, but I see what's going on. We all see it. I see the power of the dark side. And I know how this ends because I've seen it before. Y'all are new. Y'all are new to this. I'm not. I know how all of this ends. Phyllis Nunez in that super chat, he says, how you see a fight between Shakur and Keyshawn going? We're going to find out. Probably not this year, but we're going to find out. And I don't know. 50-50 fight. I don't know. But we're going to find out soon. You know why? Because Keyshawn's going to do Shakur what Shakur did to Devin. And that's the show. Keyshawn is going to do to Shakur what Shakur did to Devin. It's DB3, not DB3 plus 1. Y'all could be friends, But in boxing, breaking bread is part of the game. Jamil McClown and Chris Bird were not blood related, but they were brothers in Christ. They fought. And their wives was in the front row holding hands and praying. But they fought. It's business. Y'all don't watch boxing. Y'all don't even know what I just spoke Chinese to you. Jamil McClown and Chris Bird are not blood related. They're brothers in Christ. But they fought. No big deal. They fought. Sam Peter and Jamil McClown are brothers in Christ. They fought. It's business. I know how this ends. They talking about, oh, we ain't gonna fight. We're brothers. Man, shut up, man. Shut up. You don't have to hate your opponent to compete. This is a sport. How many Hall of Fame players came through the late 80s and all through the 90s that don't have a championship ring because of Michael Jordan and the Bulls? He's friends with all of those guys. And when they got on the floor, you would never know because they were trying to kill each other. These are top 50 players, don't have no chips because of Michael Jordan. Guys like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton. Michael Jordan stopped a lot of Hall of Fame players from getting chips. Sean Kemp, Gary Payton got lucky. Clyde Drexler got lucky off of trades. It's competition, man. Yeah, Jose, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. You could be cool and high five with these guys. This is what you choose to do for a living, man. I'm not hearing this brother stuff. You know what I think? Shakur befriended Keyshawn because I think that he knows Keyshawn might be better than him. I keep saying Shakur is a magnificent technician in the ring, but I don't know if he's a dog. I don't know if he got that Floyd Mayweather. I don't know if he got that Pretty Boy Floyd in him. You know who Pretty Boy Floyd was? Not Money May, Pretty Boy Floyd. But I'm going to tell you something. Shane Mosley brought Pretty Boy out when he decked him 2 times and almost ended him in the second round of their fight. That's when the dog came out because we didn't know. Well, I knew. Y'all Johnny-come-latelys didn't know. Y'all didn't know. He didn't get dropped in that fight. It was damn near 10-8, but at the end of that round, he started to come back. And then he got nasty with Shane. He got nasty. That's Floyd Mayweather. That's the Floyd Mayweather we know. Y'all young kids, y'all don't know that. Floyd is a dog. He is. Floyd Mayweather is a dog. I don't know if Shakur is a dog because he ain't never been clipped like that. We don't know. When he get touched, it might be over. We don't know. When he get touched, he might turn into what's his name? Elmo. Smoke and talk. Salute. Real Baltimore in the building. What's good? He might turn into Chris Colbert. Soon as he got touched, it was Boogie Wonderland. He didn't recover. It was over. We don't know. I'm saying we don't know. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Shakur was jealous of Devin. We keep saying that. Now, I know you active squad dudes. Y'all don't want to believe it because you're from Jersey and you like Shakur. That's fine. I know what I'm looking at. This dude is jealous of Devin. How the hell you accept someone into your home and putting them up on game and then you doing this out loud for the public to see? Maybe if you soaked up game and played your position and kept active, you'd have got the Devin fight with no malice. But when you made an enemy out of him, when Devin became undisputed, he wanted to make you the second undisputed title defense. And you said no. There's no discussion. I don't want to hear about nothing about no 25% because you kill that argument by fighting Edmund De Los Santos on free TV, right, for less money, and the prize was not there. The prize of Undisputed was not there. Plus, they showed people leaving your event and you was in Jersey. Dummy. You ducked. The 25%, that was a strategic duck by Devin. Man, Devin went to Australia 2 times on short money, on foreign soil, in hostile territory. Won Undisputed and defended it. Please don't talk to me about no 25%. Your man ducked. That's a fact. That's a fact. It's called sacrifice. You don't just, they don't put a crown on you and throw you on pay-per-view. You have to earn it. You have to earn it. These are the type of kids that enter the NFL draft or come out the NBA draft, and before they sign a contract, they talking about where my shoe deal. You ain't dribbled 1 minute of NBA ball. You ain't run 1 yard of NFL ball, and you talking about a shoe deal. Carriage before the horse. And then they give it to you, and who do you turn out to be? Sam Bowie. Do the research. You know what I just said. Y'all old heads, y'all know what I just said. You asked for all of that, and then you're saying Bowie. Y'all know what I said. If you know, you know. Uh-huh. Right. Mm-hmm. Sam Bowie was number 1. He was that dude. Remember that? What do we know about that draft class? When Sam Bowie was number 1 in the draft, who came out that draft class? Put the name in the chat. A lot of people came out that draft class, but Sam Bowie was number 1. He was next up, but who came out that draft? Who was in that class? You guys got to wake up. You guys got to wake up. That's right, Bob. The GOAT, Jordan, came out that same class. Jordan was like number 4. Sam Bowie. Sorry. That 84 class was something special. And Sam Bowie was next up. Mm-hmm. Right. So Shakur, I see a bit of Anakin in him. Hey, Shakur, come in, man. Sit on the couch, man. Hey, we can put you up on game. Hey, come sparring. Hey, man, we're going to show you the business, whatever. Signed the contract after he beat Loma. Well, he did better than that. He had 4 belts, and he said, let's run it. And you said no. Because it wasn't enough money. I know my worth. All right, bro. You said he was going to be drained. And by the way, 25% was not a low ball offer. It was the offer. Look it up. I ain't got time to educate y'all. Look it up. It's the offer. It's the offer. Anything above that, he's asking for a handout. No. You got to earn your keep. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Devin was already undisputed at 35. What did Shakur do to earn more than 25% other than having a bunch of groupies around him? A bunch of groupies from Jersey, active squad. What did he do to earn more than 25% other than having groupies around him? He ain't got a country behind him like Oscar Valpez. He ain't got a country behind him like Vasily Lomachenko. You see how that works? You see, you knuckle draggers, y'all don't see. When it hits you in the face, when those type of sayings hit you in the face, you don't know what to do with yourself. He didn't do ish, but have a bunch of groupies around him. Devin is what? Doing the work. He's doing the work. Devin already been on pay-per-view. Devin already won Undisputed and defended it on foreign soil. Then came back and said, Dad, I got to get Loma. He said, you ain't got to, I got to get Loma. Then they got Loma. Then what? Good morning, Prez. Guess what? He ain't do shit at 35 in comparison to Devin. We're talking about 35. I don't care what he did at 30. I don't care what he did at 126. What did he do at 35? Nothing. And if he was that dude, he'd have took the 25% and took the 4 belts and owned the pay-per-view. He didn't do it. He said no. Pussycat. Sith Lord. Pussycat. So now what he does is he sees his brother Keyshawn, and he sees how great Keyshawn is. Exactly. You make my argument, Press. He just got there. So what makes you think that he is owed more than 25%? He did nothing. We kept saying 25% is quite reasonable. So he declined the 25%, fought Edwin De Los Santos in a stinker of a fight where the world started talking crazy about him. The world except me. I didn't say that. The world said that on free TV at Jersey in a stinker and made far less than what he would have made fighting Devin Haney. What are you talking about? Press says because of his pedigree. 0 F's about his pedigree. You sound like Mauricio Sillyman. Let me explain, because I know you wasn't in class. Mauricio Sillyman told Chris Mannix, when Chris Mannix asked him, how do you have Conor Benn highly ranked in the WBC rankings at 47, and how do you have Ryan Garcia leapfrogging 15 people into a title shot? Mauricio Sillyman literally said, because of what they done elsewhere. And Chris Mannix, the white man, had to tell him what we've been saying. What they did elsewhere has nothing to do with what you got going on here. Mauricio Sillyman literally said they have these meetings in Asia. And they put people in the rankings and they consider everything they've done in other sports. He even said kickboxing. And I'm like, what does a kickboxer's record over there at K1 have to do with him being ranked in the WBC? Prez, he said that. So you can have a guy knocking people sideways in kickboxing. Now he wants to be a pro boxer because there's more money in it. And Mauricio, the WBC voting, they'll just insert the guy like at number 5, and you'll be down there. You're the fighter at number 8 fighting your ass off with a clean record, no losses, and they just take this guy and put him in front of you. He hasn't done anything. It's politics and bullcrap. That's what it is. And that's what you sound like. Please don't talk to me about a pedigree. You could be the man in college. As soon as you get to NBA, you get lost in the shuffle. I just said, see, Prez don't even know who the fuck Sam Bowie is. I just said Sam Bowie in 84 was supposed to be that dude. But who came out that draft? Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, and who? The GOAT, Michael Jordan. Don't nobody even talk about Sam. Who has a Sam Bowie jersey? I rest my case. Y'all don't even remember who drafted Sam Bowie. Stop it. The WBC is a popularity ranking. That's all it is. Don't talk to me about pedigree. What you did at 26 and 30, that's old news. You at 35. And you was literally about to be passed the baton, because I always said that was a winnable fight for Shakur because Devin was drained. And Shakur said no. But, you know, guys like Prez, this is the same kid that said he wants Tank Davis to move up and make money. He didn't give an opponent. He just said make as much money as possible. And then turned around and said he was great. So why am I have Prez there for a reason so you can read the nonsense. He represents the majority of fanatics. There's no logic. It's all emotion. It's all fanboyism or fangirlism, whatever you are. She, him, her, they, them, whatever these kids are doing today. That's what that is. That's why I have him here, so y'all could see that. See? Yeah, Shakur would murder. He said Shakur would murder Devin. That's why Devin isn't calling him out. Devin offered 4 belts at a weight drain, and your man said no. See what you're saying? See, that's the emotion part right there. That's the youth. That's the youth. There's no logic. There's no logic. I guess I'm an OG. You have an OG telling you what it is. I'm telling you, your favorite fighter. Oh, your favorite fighter already let you down. Tank is your favorite fighter. You can't renege on that. Your favorite fighter already let you down. And at this point, you're on a smear campaign because Devin Haney is who you wish your favorite fighter could be. I said that yesterday. Devin Haney is who you wish your favorite fighter could be. And now, anybody on that list you're rooting for, and people that are not on the list, you're rooting for because you want Devin to fail. And Devin's already won. He got deeper pockets than Tank. He has no criminal record. He has a better resume. And he has a list that he's actively pursuing. And Turkey Al-Sheikh is saying it's hard getting this guy fights because nobody wants to fight him. Devin Haney is who you wish your favorite fighter could be. And that goes for everybody. Active squad, Tank Davis, everybody. Press says, my favorite fighter never dropped on his back. Now, watch this. I thought you said you ain't mess with Tank because he's a woman beater. You said that on my panel. What changed? You see that? See, Prez, please keep talking. Keep talking. You prove my point. I thought you said you don't mess with Tank because he beats women. What would your mama say? But wait, hold on. Let's play with this. Let's play with this right here because you proved my point. Your favorite fighter never been dropped on his back? No, but he took a knee because he had grease in his eye. Whoa! Go! Uh-oh. You don't mess with his actions outside the ring, but his actions outside the ring prohibit what he does in the ring, which is why he's not in the ring right now. So your favorite fighter has been dropped on his back, but what about that knee? But never mind that. He fought him to a draw, right? Why can't he run that back? But never mind that. I thought you don't mess with Tank because he's a woman beater. What would your mama say? See? See how that works? See how that works? So now, let me get, there you go, my brother. Elijah, speaking of Tank being a bitch, this is one of the dudes that bitched him in the ring. Salute to my brother, the Wolf, Elijah Pierce. He says, salute, big homie, in the chat. February 28th, title eliminator in New York. Then the WBO world title next. The hunt continues. Follow my boy on all social media. The hunt continues. Elijah Pierce in the building. Salute, family. That's my little bro right there. Speaking of bitching out Tank Davis and sparring. Yes, sir. Prez, this is the part of the show where I tell you to shut the fuck up. Seriously. Shut up. I'm talking about Shakur here. This is what I'm saying. Your youth shines. You're arguing to argue. And I say this respectfully. This is how I know a man didn't have a portion in raising you. Because you sound like a girl right now. Now I'm being dead serious. I'm not clowning and snapping on you. That's what we used to say back in, y'all call it roasting. We used to call it snapping out here. I'm not snapping on you. You sound like a girl right now going back and forth with me. Really. Everyone knows you hate Devin because Devin Haney is who you wish your favorite fighter could be. Your favorite fighter has failed you. Not in the ring, because a fighter can't fail you in the ring if they get in the ring and actually try. I wouldn't be harsh on Tank if he fought at least 2 or 3 of his contemporaries, even if it was an losing effort. I wouldn't be dragging him. I'd be like, yo, man, he got in there. He got in there. I have nothing bad to say. He got in there. That's it. But your man not even getting in there. But he talking. And you have an unconditional love for this dude, which is feminine, because I don't get it. He hasn't done anything. And then you gotta talk about what he did 8 years ago, 2018, 2016, and you gotta talk about what he did back. Okay, that's over. Boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. You don't watch the sport, you watch him. And why do you watch him if he's not fighting his contemporaries? You sound like a girl. I'm trying to save you from yourself. This unconditional love for a guy that is not disciplined enough to get into a camp and leave the women alone. Y'all said leave him alone, let him get his bread. We did. And he messed that up. He had $40 million lined up. And he wanted to go to a club and beat on a bottle girl? No. He's not an exciting fighter, Prez. You're excited watching him. You guys keep saying that. He's not an exciting fighter. You're excited watching him. You got to check yourself, bruh. You got to check yourself. You get excited watching him. Boxing Ego put out that list, and you probably was pumping your fist, but did you really read it? Ego said he has his own style, chrome hearts, braided hair, tattoos. I'm like, okay. Then he says, we'll put you on a poster. I said, okay. Then he says something else, and then he says, exciting to watch. I said, wait a minute. Isn't the exciting to watch part is putting people on a poster, putting you on a meme? Wait a minute. No, he told the truth. That's why he separated the two. He gets excited watching him. Men understand what I just said. See, I read things. I decipher it. I read that. I said, oh my God, he actually put it in writing. You dudes is gay for this dude. You're excited to watch him and you don't care who he fights, which is why he gets a pass on not fighting his contemporaries. I wouldn't have a problem if he got in there with Devin and knocked him out, knocked out Shakur. But when you ask Coach Cal, why won't you want that Shakur smoke? He said, why would we want that fight? He's not going to stand there and let us do what we need to do. So that's why he ain't got no unification fight at 135 between Shakur and Tank. Fuck out of here. So anyway, Shakur, don't say anything else. I'm going to have every wrench in my chat time you out. They ain't going to block you. They're going to time you out. Don't say another fucking thing. On to the show. So now that I've exposed the homosexuality in Tank fans, back to Keyshawn. The issue here is Shakur sees, I think Shakur is threatened by Keyshawn Davis. That's why he buddied up with him. That's why he did that. He buddied up with him. And if Keyshawn is smart, I don't think he's too stupid. But if Keyshawn is smart, he'll look at what he did with Devin and Bill, and he more than likely is saying, hopefully he's saying, if he did that to them, what makes me think that he won't do that to me? So yeah, we could play this. Yeah, all right. We're gonna, we're gonna play this. Yeah, we brothers. But we're gonna ride this coattail until we get to prime time, baby. And then when it comes down to snatching up some belts and some rankings and some bragging rights, I'm going to flip because of the rule of two. Sith Lords, baby. And you know how I know that'll happen? Because money talks and bunny shit takes a hop. Get it? That's why I got Turkey's picture right next to the Sith Lord right there. Hold on. Sorry. CEO in that super chat, he says, salute, Drew. These dudes be pickle swallowers for no reason. If Tank believed in himself like his boyfriends, he would have been made these fights. Of course, I know. But they're excited to watch him. Tank should just do a pay-per-view with him just saddle boxing in the thong. It'll do big sales. Shadow box in a thong. Have an undercard with some real boxers, and the main event is Tank Davis shadow boxing, oiled up in a thong. It'll do numbers. I'm dead serious. It'll do numbers. It'll do big numbers. Because these kids are excited to watch him. They're excited. He's exciting to watch. He's exciting to watch. Yeah. Listen when they talk. They telling you what it is. So anyway, he befriended him. He basically, like, he does what Eddie Hearn does. He signs you to shelve you. If his main gun has a belt and you're his contemporary, he will sign you and keep you away from him. King Kong Ortiz, Anthony Joshua type thing. Right? Boots, Conor Ben type thing. If Conor Ben can't generate compliance at 147, what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up back in the UK. And he's going to say, hey, I can't get a fight for Boots. Everyone's ducking Boots. Everyone's ducking Boots and ducking Boots. Everyone's ducking Boots. So I have to bring him here, and Conor Ben, it'll be a massive event. And, kids Boots owe goodbye. And, Conor's going to eat all the eggs. And he's going to stop Boots in the UK at Wembley. And that'll be the end of that. And I'll be sitting here like, yo, I told y'all. Didn't I tell y'all this was going to happen? Didn't I tell y'all this why I didn't want Boots over there with that guy? Didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I tell you that? I told you. I told you. Yeah, but Drew, yeah, but yeah, Devin Haney signed with Eddie Hearn. Yeah. He signed under his conditions. Boots didn't have any conditions. We're going to come work with Matchroom for X amount of fights. We in, we out. We're going to work with Top Rank. We in, we out. It's called DHP. We in, we out. Hey, Bob, we want one more fight before we leave 35. Go to hell, Bill. Pass the butter for this goddamn toast. Remember the brunch they had? He said no. See? He said no. Shakur said no. They moved to 140. Yeah, but and again, because Devin, he lied. He said he wasn't gonna keep the belt until the end of the year. Hey, boo. He left 2 weeks before the year was over. How long was he supposed to? He was supposed to keep it until 11:59, New Year's Eve. Fuck out of here. You guys, you want to create a villain so bad. Meanwhile, the villain is y'all. The villain is you guys. You literally, we're going to have an exercise tomorrow. Y'all going to see it. We're going to have an exercise tomorrow. Y'all going to see it. Simeon Saturday. Y'all going to see it. I'm going to prove a point. St. Louis Mix, salute. He says, Eddie is making Boots a new Andre. Yeah. And what do we say? A lot of that is Andre's fault. A lot of it is Andre's fault. Eden is asking about the drug testing for Barrios. I don't know. Eric Jordan, my brother, over 2 years in the Stronghouse. Salute, brother. He says Miguel, Jerome, and the Machine got shitty cuz, Tank, and other fighters ducking Raccoon and getting their booties clapped because they can't funk with the ninja sword. Oh my God, he wants me to unload the magazine on y'all.
Give power to my nigga sword!
And shout out to Miguel, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, man.
Miguel!
My gosh, man.
Get your hand off my penis!
Unbelievable. Salute, EJ. One second. Oh, Shelton, that's crazy. Well, that's what they do to the truth tellers. So let me keep telling the truth. While Shakur hating on Keyshawn, man. Shakur hating on Keyshawn. You know why? Because Keyshawn's his threat. Y'all not the Charlos. At least they related. We can tell. You're not his brother. You're not the Klitschko's. You're not the Charlos. You're not none of that. So you befriended Keyshawn. I know what you're doing, bruh. Keyshawn is a threat to you. Watch this. Did I ever say Keyshawn's trash? No, Keyshawn's legit. I want him to get right. All that outside of the ring stuff, he almost killed himself with that thing on ESPN. That's ridiculous. He said it. I made poor choices. Drinking before the fight. Weed before the fight. Fighting Edwin De Los Santos, coming in 4 pounds overweight. Everybody came to VA to come see you. And then you're out in the audience eating popcorn, smiling. That they came to see you. You about to throw it away because of the lack of discipline? Guess what? He has more star power than Shakur had coming through. And Shakur came through first. Where's the lie? Ain't nobody told me what Keyshawn did in the lighter weights. As a matter of fact, he lost in the Olympics. To who? Uh-oh. Shout out to Cuba. Belt to ass, right? You could have ran it in the pros. I see what's going on, but nobody wants to hold you to a standard. Because he has unconditional fans. You see how that works? If they love the dysfunction, that's why I call the audience a bunch of Sith Lords, a bunch of stormtroopers, because if you have unconditional love and your fighter's not performing to the best of their abilities, for some reason, they love you. But a guy like Devin has a whole list out, wants to get to the smoke, and y'all make an issue of that. And one of the biggest issues is what? I don't like Bill. And then you look at Keyshawn, it's, we don't need that. The father could get it too. DB3, we don't need that. We don't even know what that is. We don't know what that is. Okay. I heard that, kid. Keep on trucking. I heard that. I heard that crack in your voice. I heard it. We don't need that. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You not having a father is why you had that meltdown when your brother got his ass whooped. A melee backstage with the baby in the fucking carriage. That was embarrassing. You absolutely need a father. And any grown-ass man that says, I ain't need my dad. Yeah, check his resume. Check how he's handled life. I got 2 friends that came from single mothers, but you know why they came up all right? They had the village. Because my dad and all the other dads, they always talked to them like how they talk to us. They were in the church. They had pastors. They had male influence, whether it was in the church or the gyms. They had coaches. One of them attended a karate class all the way up to like an 8th degree black belt. They did that. They had a lot of male influence. And the mothers knew that. They would call the coaches. How's he doing on the team? How's his behavior? And you don't have to explain it. They know, okay, single mother. Okay, all right. And the village stepped up. That don't exist today. You know what these dudes do today? If the mother is looking out for the child, you know what the mother will do? Man, football is running about $800 for the season. I ain't got it. I'm gonna let coach clap, and these weak men will clap so their child could, so little Junior could play for free and get in the starting lineup. The village is tainted. And these kids, some of these kids in boxing, it's a direct reflection of the dysfunction. Y'all really don't get why I hate this era. Y'all really don't understand. That's why I'm not talking to kids like this. Yo, bro, you need to do more listening. The village is messed up, but it's normalized. That's why these kids identify with Tank. Listen to the words. When K-Ho said, I identify with Tank. What do you identify with exactly? The criminal act or what? Oh, you just get a nut when he's punching someone in the face in the ring? Okay. Who's he punching in the ring? Is it Devin? No. Is it Shakur? No. Is it Keyshawn? No. I know all 3 of those guys called him out. And he's the A side and didn't make the fight happen. Case closed. And there's Tank. So what do you identify with exactly? Inside the ring? Outside the ring? Chat, am I lying about anything that I'm saying? I just had a bunch of kids in my neighborhood run up in a mall. A bunch of teenagers run up in a mall. There were arrests made. Some of those kids got their ass kicked by police. Question. Give me the percentage of the kids that ran up in there that have fathers in their lives. Give me the percentage. Just guess. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know. But if I was to make an educated guess, I would say it's below 30%. Because some kids are just followers. But I'm saying an active father will have those N-words thinking twice. Because when I was coming up, I had space and opportunity to do any and everything illegal. And when it came time to a decision making, you know what the first thing I thought was? Damn, what would my dad say? I do this and get caught. I can't imagine being in the precinct and see my dad come through that door. Because I don't care about no cop. I'm worried about my dad. F that. And my mom. And my mom had space and opportunity to do any and everything. I was worried about my parents. My mom would just cuss me out. My dad, you know what happened? I be in the precinct. Y'all remember the doomsday device? The Road Warriors used to do? Animal pick the dude up on his shoulders and Hawk come off the top turnbuckle with goddamn clothesline. My parents would do that to me. Y'all remember 3D? That'd be my parents. I ain't want no smoke. Y'all remember that show, That's So Raven? My little cousin used to watch that. And she would like get into her thoughts and then think something and it'll go all fast. That was me. Yo, Drew, we gonna go over here and do this, do that. And I just zoom in on my face and I say, and I could just envision it going left. And I say, nah, y'all go ahead. I'm gonna go upstairs and play some Nintendo. And that was my night. Because I knew better. See, you kids don't know better. You don't know better. And when you're arguing with people that been there and done that, you're lost. Especially, see, you don't concede to male leadership because you don't have any. A father's important. So when I look at Keyshawn, I understand why he's moving like that. He's had no real discipline. He's had some from his mother, but if you think a father's not important, you're on crack. It's different. And I'm talking about a real father. Because you do have these fathers, they're in and out of jail, and they're still in the gangs, and then they got 18-year-olds. I'm not talking about that. Raising losers. A grown adolescent is gonna raise a loser. I'm gonna say it again. A grown adolescent will raise a loser. So when you get these kids growing up, you know, douching around through life, you have anarchy. You got kids running up in the mall. I would never have considered doing that when I was that age. You get kids talking to their elders with no respect, as if we haven't been there and done that already. I told these fools, and this is all relevant to what I'm talking about here. I told these fools, I was watching this kid tank, and I said, Stormy, we've seen this before. He said, I said, his name is Mike Tyson. Not exactly the same route. No, not exactly the same life, but the same route, the similar route. We've seen this before. We've seen it before. I remember back in the 80s and in the 90s, I said, look, y'all high on Mike, but I'm not. And what was I met with? Oh, he knocks people out. Okay. He does. But when I say, man, who's he fought? From the time he started his career up until he fought, I'm having a brain fart this morning. I'm sorry, y'all. When I ask people, before he won his first world title, what did he do? I get blank stares. And then they can't even tell me who he beat to win his first world title. I know Larry Holmes jumps out at you, Razor Ruddock jumps out at you, Spinks jumps out at you. I know that. But around the 90s, I was like, this guy, Evander Holyfield, is coming up from cruiserweight specifically to fight Mike. Oh, Mike knocks him out. And then it dawned on me, I'm in the gyms, I'm training. My friends don't know boxing like how I know boxing. Thank you, Trevor Berbick, thank you. By the way, y'all know what happened to Trevor Berbick? Speaking of young YNs, you know what happened to Trevor Berbick? He was murdered by his nephew. There's been YNs. He was murdered by his nephew. Okay? Over foolishness. Over foolishness. I said, this guy, Van, is going to come up, and I believe he's going to kick Mike's ass. And my friends laughed at me. Well, it took a couple of years. But prior to that, Buster Douglas shocked the world. He came back. Did he run it back with Buster Douglas? No, he didn't. But that's Mike. He can get away with that, though, right? Okay. Eventually, he fought Evander Holyfield. And what happened? Well, we all saw it. And then what was I met with? Oh, well, if Mike can do that stint in prison. Man, when Mike was in prison, the years that he was in prison, look at what Evander Holyfield did when Mike was away. Evander was in wars while Mike was preserved in prison. And then when that fight was signed, I was told that Mike was going to hit Evander so hard he was going to have a heart attack because he had a heart condition at that time. It was misdiagnosed. Well, not misdiagnosed, but it was something for people to make fun of. Oh, he going to die. He going to die. I said, nope. And I sat in, I forgot whose house we was at. I sat there with my arms folded. First round, he came out and tried to run over Evander. Everyone screaming, ah! And I'm just sitting there with my arms folded, smirking. After the first round ended, yeah, they looking at me, yeah. I'm like, okay. Second round, third round. Fourth round, they got kind of quiet. And the inevitable happened. I got up. I said, all of y'all, where's my money? Give my, thank you. $5 here, $2 here, $5 here, $10 here, $20 here, 20. Yep. And I walked out. You know why? Because I know boxing. They didn't. They knew emotion, and they like watching Mike Tyson throw combos at the air and skip rope and look mean, and and Mike from the trenches, and he from Brooklyn, and you know he's my age, and yeah. With that being said, I knew Evander was gonna kick his ass, and that's just what he did. That's just what he did. I will gladly take your money. When fighters talk, you got to learn how to listen. How could I believe what you say when what? I see what you do. How dare you have over 15 contemporaries and not fight one of them? And you have this fan base. It's disgusting. And Shakur, borderline that. How could I believe what you say when I see what you've done? And now you befriended Keyshawn, bruh. How long before Keyshawn wakes up? How long before he wakes up, Sith Lords? How long before he wakes up? How long before, I don't know, all right, Shakur's running around with a belt right now. How long before Turkey starts saying, hey, man, you know, you guys, I could pay y'all $25 million a piece. I think Keyshawn will be with the shits. And Shakur will be the one, I don't know, that's my brother. I don't like to lose. Keyshawn, why don't you go to 54 where Devin is? I told you you're my little brother. I'm not going to step on you. How long before that happens? Stormy says all one needed to see in that fight was the last 10 seconds of the first round. At the bell, Mike threw a left hook after the bell. Holyfield threw a hard right after that. Yeah, he did. To let him know, I'm going to fight you, bro. We going to box, but I'm going to fight you. All that hitting after the bell shit, I'm not intimidated. After the first round, the fight was already won. Mike was used to scaring people and making them fold. Evander Holyfield wasn't built like that. You hit me, I'm going to hit you back. That's it. And let me ask you, how much food on the table did Mike Tyson leave? Did he fight David Tua? Did he fight Ike Ibeabuchi? Well, I think he just missed Ibeabuchi. I think he got locked up when Mike got out. I might be wrong on that. Did he fight Riddick Bowe? Did he run it back with Buster Douglas? And I asked these questions, and all you're talking about or who he knocked out. Okay, fine. Did he fight Ray Mercer? Did he fight Tommy Morrison? All of those people were there. But you're so infatuated with what he does and how he looks doing it, and you ignore who he's doing it to. You ignore it. So while I'm talking boxing, you're talking about mouth action. And you know, I'm trying to keep it clean because YouTube is on some funny stuff. That's weird. Everybody want to talk about who's going to beat Devin. I'm saying Devin got a lot of 50-50 fights, but you know why I identify with Devin? Because with all the 50-50 fights on that list, he's willing to do the job. He's willing to take the risk. Your favorite fighter is not. All I hear is excuses as to why your favorite fighter can't do something. But Devin got to do it. You know what the arguments? Why Tank got to do everything? Why? I'm saying, why Tank got to do everything? Why can't How many times you heard Devin say, well, why don't this guy fight this guy and the winner fight me? How many times you heard Devin say that? Put it in the chat. You ever heard Devin say that? Why Tank got to do everything? Why he got to fight everybody? Why can't they fight each other? Okay. When have you heard Devin say, why don't this guy fight this guy and then I'll fight the winner? When you heard him say that? No, he put out a list with like 11 people on it. And Turkey saying, I got a problem getting this kid fights because nobody wants to fight him. When did you hear Devin ever say that? I hear nothing but Tank fans and Shakur fans saying, why they got to do everything? Why can't this guy fight that guy and that guy fight this guy? You ask a Devin hater, what do you want Devin to see? Well, what do you want to see Devin do in his next 3 fights? They'll give you exactly what they want him to do. He needs to do this, this, and this. And if you start talking about money, either it's a 50-50 split or Devin's the B side. Devin be the B side, right? But watch this. Didn't this YN in the chat just say, because of his accolades, Shakur's accolades, he deserved more than 25% because of his accolades in previous weights? Well, is Devin not formerly undisputed at 35? Is he not a title holder at 40? In one fight? Is he not a title holder against the Boogeyman at 47 in one fight? Y'all don't factor any of that in. Y'all don't factor any of that in. So fine. He's a champion at 47, and he beat a guy and dominated a guy that Boots ducked. That don't mean anything? What's more impressive? Devin doing that? And you see, this is where your words come back and bite y'all in the ass. PTSD, Piddlefish, Chinny, came in there with Brian Norman Jr., dropped him in the second round, outboxed him in the masterclass, and won convincingly. Is that more impressive? Or Shakur beating up Tio, who notoriously ducked every black fighter, American black fighter? What's more impressive? Man, Tio was supposed to lose. I ain't have Tio beating, I ain't have him beating Keyshawn, because Keyshawn punked him on the stage. We all heard it. I ain't have him beating Shakur. We saw that played out. I definitely ain't have him beating Devin. He been ducking Devin for a decade. So I already knew what time it was. How could I believe what you say when I see what you do? All this talk about black people and this and that and this and that and this and that. Then when he finally fought one, what happened? So I'm really not impressed. I'm glad Shakur did it, but I'm really not impressed. But Brian Norman was a problem. I still had Devin winning. Name a Devin Haney hater that said it's a 50-50 fight. Name one. No, Devin was supposed to die that night. And this is where your words come back and kick y'all right in the face. Right in the face. The true definition of eating your own words. It backfired. Everything you said about Devin has backfired. And now I'm looking at this relationship between Keyshawn and Shakur, and I'm telling y'all, I know how this ends. I don't care how far up these kids move. It might not be this year, it might not be next year. These guys are going to top off at max probably 160. Probably. Eventually, Turkey going to make these dudes fight. And it's not going to be friendly because they don't know how to be gentlemen about it. They don't know how to say, okay, this is business. Let's just do it. That's what I'm saying. These guys are feminine. Fellas, you ever tried to gracefully break up with a girl and be peaceful about it? Hey, this ain't working out. It's okay. We arguing every 5 minutes. But look, it's okay. I don't hate you. We could be cool. Why don't you, you can go your way. I'm gonna go my way. It's all right. Everything's cool. And then she gets to screaming and cussing, and it's like, oh. And then you see her in the street, and she want to scream and cuss. It's like, oh. And people are like, well, what'd you do to her? I ain't do anything. I just broke up with her. Well, what'd you say to her? I just said, I think we should go our own separate ways, and it's been a week of this shit. Y'all ever had that happen to you? It's like, well, I was mad peaceful. I was mad respectful. Exactly. If they were really brothers, they'd say, hey, man, let's make some bread. I know how this ends. Yeah, that's right, Romello. Bros be funny like that. And these dudes, these kids, these fatherless kids, they act like broads. They can't say, hey, man, this is business. Let's just do it. They can't do that. They got to make an enemy. It has to be beef. All Shakur had to do with Devin is say, hey, man, can I get a shot? Bill is very diplomatic. Yes, you can get a shot. He's talking to Keyshawn right now. Oh, yeah. Let me read these super chats because I got a lot to say about that. Kev's videos in that super chat. Salute. He says, imagine Tyson versus Butterbean today on Netflix. Oh, it'd probably break the damn... If they were like in their prime, it'd break the internet. It'd break Netflix because people like clown stuff like that. And salute to Eric Esch, man. He's rebounding. He was very sick, but he's rebounding. He's doing okay now. He got his diet under control and he was doing DDP yoga. Salute to Diamond Dallas Page. Bang. Jim Diamond in that super chat salute. He says, you put my name on a hit list, I'm coming to see you immediately. Exactly. You know why, Jim? Because there's money involved. And there's bragging rights if you can beat Devin. And just, why not? It's the business. It's the business. I don't understand how Shakur thought he was doing better by not fighting Devin at 35. And then you fought Edwin De Los Santos. He literally yanked the rug from underneath his own goddamn feet. I didn't understand that. Other than him saying, I can't beat Devin. I can't beat him. Y'all can say silly stuff like it's just sparring. No, bro. It's not just sparring. It's not just sparring. If it's just sparring, I'm going to come back to this. If it's just sparring, Tank was supposed to whoop Devin's ass as soon as they were mentioned in the same sentence. If it's just sparring, Shakur is supposed to take those those 4 belts off of Devin. If it's just sparring. If it's just sparring, well, AJ took kind of long to fight Daniel Dubois. And then when they just fought, what happened? The same thing that happened in what? Sparring. I love, a lot of the people that say it's just sparring. You know what I know about them? They never boxed one round of sparring in a gym. I know that. I know that. It's just sparring. The next time you see a jabroni say that in the chat, ask them, how many rounds of sparring have you had to say that? How many pros you've seen before they were actual pros? Mix it up. Hey, watch this. They're sparring of Rolly Romero and who? Ryan Garcia. Go watch that sparring. Rolly was throwing Ryan around. He was beating him up. Go watch it. It was Rolly and Ryan. A lot of people in the chat, well, it's not like that now. They just fought. What happened? Please stop. Eric Jordan in that super chat, he says, even after Brian lost, fighters are still ducking him. Like, what the F? Exactly. Brian Norman's number 2 welterweight in the world. Word on the curb is T.O.'s supposed to be going up, and they might be mixing it up. Good. Brian, put him in the coffin, brother. Thank you. I fucks with Brian Norman Jr. Marcus Walls in that super chat salute. He says, for the grind, stay on their necks. Man, I'm on a job, good brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. Professor X, salute. I see you, good brother. Thank you. S. Walker in that super chat salute. He says, salute to the chat. Great topic. And them boys going to find each other because money talks. Yes. Hell, even Floyd fought Zab, mixed it up, and they was friends. Yes, a lot of people don't realize that. Floyd and Zab were friends, man. And it got nasty, but they were friends. Y'all don't know that. Some of y'all were in elementary school when that happened. Y'all didn't know there was, matter of fact, y'all didn't know that Zab was supposed to be Floyd, but he messed up when he lost to Costa Zoo. That was his coming out party, and he fumbled the ball. The media and everybody was rounded behind this kid from Brooklyn. That happened. But he fumbled the rock. And I was upset. I watched that fight. I said, oh, he messed up, bro. He messed up. Because the first round, Costa couldn't touch him. And he got a little too cute, and Costa hit him. And he got up too fast. He was supposed to lay on the floor, then roll over and look Jay Nady in the eyes and wait for 8 and then get up. But his ego made him jump up so fast. And he was dizzy. I mean, damn, man. And I wanted that for Zab. But he messed up. He'll tell you. He said, I messed up. I messed up. It happens. And he had a little meltdown. He throwing chairs in the ring, but thank God Yoel was there to grab him and said, calm down. Calm down. Relax. Yoel. Who's Yoel? His father. You see that? I got grease in my shit because, you know, this girl from the Bronx, you know, why y'all booing? I mean, this is real facts. Shorty got death threats from Tank fans, y'all. She from the Bronx, got death threats from Tank fans. She posted on her social media, this is what I use for that YN's hair. And it says no alcohol, no grease. So what was he talking about? You know what got in his eye? Lamont Roach's jab. That's what happened. But Tank wins the rematch. Cool. Run it. Where's that? Oh, Jake Paul. Let him get his money. Well, you pro-black, right? Drew, you pro-black. Let him get his money. Okay, let him get his money. What does he do? Beat up the chick at the strip club. Y'all go ahead. Keep talking to me about Tank, man. Because you know what? I don't have to lie on him. Everything I said is 100% true. And salute to Professor X in that super chat, man. Much love to you, man. Thank you so much, good brother. Always supporting. Thank you so much. Sid Mark in that super chat salute. He says, what up, Drew? You speaking facts, bro. I think Keyshawn see it already. And you know what? Again, Keyshawn is not as ignorant as he put out. That's why I'm making the Star Wars Rule of Two reference. He's going to ride the coattails. And what's good is the old way of doing boxing by going through Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn and stuff, it doesn't really exist anymore now. Now, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. You can go to Turkey directly and say, yo, how much you know, I want to fight this guy. Turkey's just going to say, how much? And it has to be realistic. You made how much in your last fight? I made about $5 million. But this one with Cora, that's a main event. I'll give you double that. I'm with it. Then he'll go to Shakur. Hey, Shakur, your friend want to fight you. What do you mean? That's my brother. Well, he said he want to fight you. How much you made your last fight? I made $10 million. I pay you 17. Uh-oh. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Not fight? Are y'all ready to call Shakur a duck? I've been calling him a duck, but are y'all ready to call him a duck? If that happens, are y'all ready to call him a duck? Because I'll be sitting here like, yo, friends or not, you ain't got to hate someone to fight them. You mean to tell me you have a record of 30-something fights and you hated everyone you fought? No. Excuse me, Shakur. Jamel Herring was your friend. And this is active squad. Listen, you get what you put out. I'm anticipating Shakur to flip. I'm anticipating that. I am anticipating that. It's going to happen. I don't care what you hear today, tomorrow. I don't care. Eventually, whether it's at 54, 60, 2 years from now, it's going to happen. I'm asking you, what are you going to do if Shakur says no? Are you prepared to call him a duck? I'm just saying this is the business of boxing. Shakur knows all about business. You think Keyshawn didn't see, he doesn't know what he did to Jamel Herring? He snaked Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring was his friend. He snaked Jamel Herring and said, hey, it's just business. That's what he said. And it was business with him and Devin, right? Snaked him too. But the thing was, there was money, bragging rights, belts involved, and he chickened out. That's what happened. So he snaked Jamel Herring. I'm talking about friendships, right? Friendships. He snaked Jamel Herring. He snaked the Haneys. Friendships now. So do you think Keyshawn doesn't see this dude? Do you think he doesn't see him? You think he's that ignorant? Let me read to you the rule of two to my nerds. Star Wars, rule of two. Philosophy established by Darth Bane to ensure Sith survival by limiting their order to only 2 members. 1 master to embody power, and 1 apprentice to crave it. This doctrine, designed to eliminate destructive infighting, forces the apprentice to surpass their master, fostering a cycle of increasing strength and secrecy. To ensure Sith survival by limiting their order to only 2 members. You got Keyshawn, you got Shakur. Don't even pay attention to DB3. His brothers are doing something else. And Keyshawn will never fight his brothers, his blood brothers. Mama wouldn't allow it. She wouldn't allow it. Sith survival by limiting their order to only 2 members. 1 master, Shakur, to embody the power, titles, and 1 apprentice, Keyshawn, to crave it. It's designed to eliminate destructive infighting. But what happens? What happens when the apprentice is ready to take the lead? He has to kill the master. It's in the rules. I tell you, my memes tell tales. Who's the emperor in this? Who's the emperor in all of this right now? It's Turkey. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. If he pulls Keyshawn to the side, now mind you, he's spoken to Keyshawn before. He's spoken to him before. He tried to get a Teofimo fight. You remember he told the story on Cigar Talk? He was sitting next to Turkey, and Turkey called Tio. He said, I got a fighter for you who wants to fight next. And then he gave the phone to Keyshawn, and Tio started crying. No, I want to fight Boots next. Remember that? Why would you want to fight Boots instead of Keyshawn? I don't know. You know why?
These guys see something in Keyshawn. When I tell you Keyshawn Davis is a legitimate threat to everything, I'm not joking. Dare I say, they see the same threat in Keyshawn that they see in Devin. Where's the lie? Lomachenko said, give me a fake belt because I don't want to fight Devin right now. And I'll fight Teofimo because it's a lesser of two evils. And he fucked around and lost to Teofimo. Teofimo says, I'll fight Shakur rather than fight Keyshawn. I might get outboxed with Keyshawn. I might get outboxed with Shakur, but Keyshawn fuck around and knock my head off. If you look at the landscape, that's exactly what it is. If you see it in any other way, good luck to you. But my memes tell stories. I'm telling you what's going to happen. You know what the big thing in Star Wars was? There was a level of the Force where you can actually see the future. Now, I'm not a Star Wars buff like that, but I've heard these things. Bro, I don't need no crystal ball. You know why? I don't need to see the future because I've seen this before. I've seen it already. This relationship, well, hold on. What's Keyshawn's name? Put it in the chat. Kez Videos, he says, we used to hit each other in high school football for free. Now they don't want to fight for big money? What the fuck they talking about in the Rolly voice? What the fuck you talking about? Rolly voice. What the fuck you talking about? $10 million? What the fuck you talking about? Rick Blackwell in that super chat, he says, Keyshawn said he was the best fighter in the world on Cam and Mace show the other day. Shakur been saying the same thing. It's only a matter of time. Thank you. And by the way, what is his name? The businessman. So Kerr think he got a friend? What did Kerr tell Jamel Herring? Is business, right? Why didn't he fight Devin? Because the business wasn't right. Correct? Oh. Y'all brothers? Or when the money's right, Keyshawn gonna say, hey, bro, this is business. What leg is Shakur gonna have to stand on? You know why? Keyshawn's not stupid. He gonna say, hey, man, you told Jamel Herring it was business. Hey, man, you ducked undisputed at 135 with Devin because of business. Hey, there's business between me and you. Hey, man, you trying to take food out my mouth, Shakur? Well, are we really brothers? Watch. This is gonna end bad. They may as well fight now. They're in the same rankings. They're in the same weight, right? Right? And by the way, you want to talk about capping and lying? Y'all saw this? Somebody asked Gustavo, right? You know, Gustavo, WBO? I'm sorry. BO, I'm sorry. They asked him, hey, man, what's up with Keyshawn and Devin Haney? Because, you know, Keyshawn is flying out to where they filmed Friday. I told you he did all that cute stuff, right? I said, man, I'm entertained by that. And you know, what does Drew always say? Hey, man, you could beat Devin? Run it. That's all I say, right? Don't I always say that? Oh, yeah, I like that fight. Run it. I like that. Run it. Cool, yeah. Yo, what you think about Keyshawn and Devin? Run it. I like it. Run it. That's what I say, unlike y'all other D-blowers. Yo, what's up with your favorite fighter and this guy? Yeah, you know, seat sales. What has he done? Listen, I'm not like other fighters, man. I just want to get my money and go home to Baltimore. Okay. Now, while I'm saying run it, y'all have making excuses. K-Rod says take a look. Oh, the Mortal Kombat. Yeah. I know about that. I know about that. I know about that. Yes, sir. Freedom's March. Salute, brother. So it was asked, somebody innocently asked, what's up with Keyshawn and Devin, right? And Keyshawn been talking real big. Called Devin Haney out. By the way, at that last event, if y'all thought that Keyshawn and Shakur didn't plan that, y'all are retarded. What was the plan we originally heard? We heard that after the fight, Devin was going to call the fight. After the fight, the winner between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur was going to call Devin into the ring, and that was the next fight. That's what we was told. Yes or no? That's what we were told. That's what we were told. Keyshawn beats Jermaine Ortiz. Great win. And he calls out Devin Haney. I said, oh, that's cute. So it's a toss-up. So Devin's going to either fight Keyshawn or the winner of Teofimo and Shakur. And I had Shakur winning. I said, oh, okay. You know, so okay. He's supposed to. Look, I like Keyshawn calling him out. I like that. I had no problem. Yeah, you know, Bill been in my DMs. Yeah. Y'all been communicating. But I know it was in the DMs. Matter of fact, Bill shared what was in the DMs. As a matter of fact, what Actor Squad don't want to admit is Bill was in the DMs, but he could have fought Devin that night. Instead, he chose to fight Jermaine Ortiz. That's a fact. So all of this running around in South Central LA, where Debo at, it sounds cute. Now you said it, right? Let's fight, right? Okay, and I know y'all don't like Devin, so Bill be capping and Devin's ducking and PTSD and pillow fist and chinny, all that stuff. Okay, great. But he's talking about, I want Devin next. But let's get to the business. Now, this is something that BFTB told you. This is something that Blue Blood told you. This is something that 78 told you. But now you're hearing it from Gustavo. And it reads as follows. Hello, sir. Mr. Davis is currently installed at junior welterweight and therefore unrated at welterweight. Consequently, he cannot fight Haney until a formal ratings request is submitted, considered, and granted. Further, bear in mind that there are other fighters rated at 147 before Mr. Davis.
Good night.
So are you amused by the antics online, UYNs, or are you reading the proper business response? Now, I already gave credit to Keyshawn because he calls himself the businessman. Although his emotions got the better of him on ESPN, and it was unprofessional, and the weed thing and the drinking thing, okay, he got baptized. But did he really get baptized in the name of Christ, or did he just take a bath? Because this right here, I'm telling you, he knows. Time reveals all truth, don't it? So are you still amused by the Friday the reference? Are you still amused? You think Keyshawn didn't know this? Here's the thing. Y'all dumbasses didn't know this. And y'all don't listen when we talk. BF said it. Oh, well, he's DHP. Blue said it. Oh, well, Blue's LDBC. Well, y'all are LGBTQ, y'all the gay community. I'm not judging y'all. Well, I am, but I'm not as it pertains to the boxing. Y'all gay. But with that aside, I speak at the facts. With that aside, I speak at the facts. Y'all part of the LMNOP community. Elemental P plus, whatever. That's your community. But with that aside, this man just said what BFTB been telling y'all. Whenever we said, hey man, Keyshawn know what to do to get a fight, the first thing he has to do is request to get into the rankings. And he said, there's people ahead of him. You see, unlike Mauricio Sillyman, they're saying there are fighters at 147 that are rated ahead of him. So that fight might not even be next. Unlike Mauricio Sillyman, if this was a WBC situation, he would just take Keyshawn and throw him all the way up there and say, I don't care who's ranked number 1, 2, 3, or mandatory, this fight's next. So when we say this fool was clout chasing, this is what we were saying. Because had he had requested to get into the rankings and been online saying, yo, I just requested into the rankings and I got this guy ahead of me, but I'll knock him out. At least he requested to be in the rankings. Then I can say, okay, he's actively pursuing Devin. Might not get it next, but he's pursuing it. So that's active. But he'd rather stroke y'all egos and do online antics and troll. Oh, he wants to fight. He wants to fight. Did he take care of the business, though? You ever knew that chick that say, I'm going to nursing school. I'm going to nursing school. 3 years later, did you go to nursing school? Well, nah, I can see what had happened was, man, shut up. You ain't doing nothing with your life, but your hair done, though. And you smell like Black and Miles, but your hair done, though. And you got 8 baby daddies, but your hair done, though. Stop talking to me what you're gonna do. You woulda, shoulda, coulda. You a watch winner. Watch when I do this. Watch when I do that. You know what I'm seeing Keyshawn do? Talk. And at this point, based off of what I just showed you, here's my question. Do you trust Keyshawn and Shakur's relationship? Because I already don't trust him to fight Devin. Because one called out Devin, and now we found out they're not doing the work. He's not actively trying to enter the rankings at 147. So get that out of there. Then the other guy was supposed to call out Devin, whoever won, and he calls in Conor Ben. So you got one lying and the other one lying. So you got 2 liars together. If the Legion of Doom beat the Justice League, who do you trust? Lex Luthor or the Joker? The Sith rule of 2. Somebody got to go. The apprentice eventually is going to want to be who? The apprentice is eventually going to want to be the master. But in order for the apprentice to be the master, he can't just branch off and say, I'm just going to go do my thing. That's what the Jedis do. The Jedi has a Padawan, whatever they call him, and he raises them up, and when it's his turn, he branches off, and he becomes the master to someone else. Each one teach one. The Sith is like, nope, we got to keep this thing tight. So I'm the master. But in order for you to be the master, eventually, you got to cut my head off. One master to embody power, and one apprentice to crave it. Y'all don't like that? Wait a minute. Let's do it this. Okay, the Highlander. There can only be one. I already did that. I'll do it again down the road. Remember I said Davis versus Davis? Remember he called him light skin? I want to fight light skin. You talking about Tank? You a bitch. And I said Davis versus Davis, Highlander. There can only be one. And Keyshawn wasn't the A side in that situation. It was Tank. And what did Tank do? He beat up a woman. Where's the lie? He beat up a woman. That's what he did. Freedom's marching that super chat. He says, Ductive Squad. That's what they are, DuckTales. Listen, if you listen, man, this is boxing. This isn't a team sport. You by yourself in there. Big Soldier says Ken and Ryu. Yeah, They fighting in the animes. They fighting in the goddamn cartoons. They fighting in the on the video games. But they fighting. So now that I've debunked all of this, oh, you just hating on Active Squad. You just hating on Keyshawn. Nope, read that. Documentation beats conversation. If Keyshawn was really wanting to smoke, the only question I'm asking is, has he actively jumped into the rankings? Has he done that? From the time this was put out, has he done that? Maybe if he worked as hard as getting into the welterweight rankings as he did during the Friday video, I'd respect it a little more. Yeah, big soldier, you know, Goku, Vegeta. Come on, man. But this Sith Lord thing, I'm telling you, this is more like it. Rule of 2, look it up. Look up on your phone. Star Wars, Rule of 2. And then look at Keyshawn and Shakur. And look at Shakur's track record. Look at what he did to Jamel Herring, his friend, how he treated his friend. Look at how he treated Devin. I know y'all don't care about Devin. But look at how he treated Devin. Look at how that relationship went sour. It wasn't because he froze him out of an opportunity. He tried to give him an opportunity. But 25% wasn't enough. You know, I had that idiot on here the other day. I could tell there was something wrong with him when he was talking. But then when I slowed it down, I said, wait a minute, where you from? What did he say? Jersey. Case closed, bro. Then I said, hey, man, did Ryan Garcia cheat? Nigga said allegedly. Conversation's over, bro. I already know what kind of time you on. I don't need to get hype and scream and cuss you out. I know what I'm dealing with. And you see, this what I'm saying. A lot of these Negroids are fake. With a capital F. They are fake as hell. In this friendship, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. And I know how this ends. Because if they were professional, they could still be friends and fight and make tons of money. If they were professional. But they're not even that. They making business. They trying to say, oh, I'm cutting deals and do. You're not doing what DHP is doing. You're not. None of these dudes are. Boots isn't. Y'all don't even respect Bill enough to get around him to learn game. Because truth be told, all of you knuckle draggers should be over there in Bill's DM on his phone. Yo, I'm trying to make this business move, Bill. How do I do this? But y'all don't respect yourselves enough to call another black man to get put up on game. Y'all ran to Eddie Hearn. Y'all run over the Top Rank. But I'm looking at Top Rank's track record. I'm looking at Bob Arum's track record. I'm looking at Eddie Hearn's track record. And then I'm looking at Bill Haney's track record and the results of Devin. And y'all don't even respect yourselves. Everyone talks about humble, humble, humble. Y'all don't even want to humble yourself and say, yo, Bill, put me up on game. I'm trying to move and shake like y'all. You think Bill won't sit you down and talk to you? Bill built the plane as he flew it. He learned. As Devin learned game in the ring, Bill learned game being around the Floyd Mayweathers. Talking with the Bob Arums and the Eddie Hearns of the world without assimilating to them. That's why they don't like him. He been around Al Heyman and watched how he moved. Why do you think he didn't let Dev rock with Floyd? Because the truth is, and this is going to sting to the Tank fans, the truth is Floyd wanted Devin. He didn't want Tank. Tank was sloppy seconds. Well, that's not right. Well, it is right. You know why? Look at Tank now and remember what Adrian Broner was supposed to be. Adrian was next up. When Floyd hung it up, AB was next up. And look at them now. And what do they all have in common? All of them fell out with Floyd. even Bill, even Devin. But look at where Bill and Devin is right now, because they focused. What did they learn from the Floyd Mayweather camp, other than fighting and everything else? Like techniques in the ring? They learned the business. And Bill knows game. He said, yeah, we're going to take what Floyd teaches us in the ring, but business-wise, this kid ain't smart. Nah, I'm going to take my son, we're going to go elsewhere. And then he became public enemy number one. But when the dust is settling now, look at the position that Floyd is in and look at the position that DHP is in. All you got to do is watch. The man went to Ryan Garcia, told him to come in overweight. He absolutely did that. And then tried to clown Bill the next day or the next week or whatever.
You fool-ass earth man.
Who does this, Floyd? So are y'all running around and clowning DHP? I see the melee around him. Y'all not paying attention. You know what this is like? You got Bill and Devin in front of you and they're smiling. And you walking up to him and you saying everything bad to them and oh, you N-words and y'all not as good as you think, and you know, you walking up on them and Bill and Devin standing there smiling at you. And the bigger their smile is, the more aggravated you get. You're like, you mother effers, y'all ain't ish, and this team tank, and this is active squad, and y'all ain't ish, and they're smiling and smiling. And as you get closer, the smile is getting bigger and bigger. And when you get in front of them, you ain't gonna do nothing. And you're mad. You're like, why are you smiling? And both of them point, and you turn around, and your whole goddamn house burning down. You didn't know you left the gas on in your house? And one of your fighters smoked, and as soon as he struck the match, the shit blew up, and now your shit burning down. What's the lesson in what I just told you? Why are you worried about him and his son? You better worry about your house. You walking up on me, turn around, man. What you got going on over there? That shit burning. Who's in that house? Floyd? Who else in that house? Shakur? All these niggas. Matter of fact, when Shakur was being scouted out the Olympics, they asked him, why didn't you go to Floyd Mayweather? Why didn't you do that? We thought that was a slam dunk. You know what he said? You remember what he said? You know, it's just a lot of talk over there. So he knew not to go fuck with Floyd. You know why? How Floyd behaves is no secret in the industry. So he didn't go. He didn't go. He didn't go. He knew. He knew what time it was. Pay attention to your own house. So Shakur didn't fuck with Floyd. Devin left Floyd. AB's drunk every other day. Anakin flipped on Obi-Wan because he was P-whipped. And he thought Obi-Wan was jealous of him. That's what he said. Yeah, Big Soldier, I said that a while ago. I did a live on that. Somebody go get Camille Morton before something happened to him. I said that a while ago. Just take a look around you. Look at how Shakur moving. If you unconditionally love this dude and you don't see what's happening, all right, cool. Pay attention to this Keyshawn and Shakur relationship. Pay attention to it. Watch what I'm telling you. That's why I have Turkey Al-Ashik's face next to the Sith Lord. Not saying that Turkey's evil. What I'm saying is he's going to amplify what is already in their hearts. You see, the Sith Lord can't do nothing to you if it's not in you already. That's the lesson. It has to be in you. If it's not in you, it's not going to affect you. Good. If you ain't got no hate in your blood, you can't trigger you. No one can trigger you. If you ain't got hate in your blood, you can't. Hey, Drew, so-and-so got more subs than you. That's dope. When I first saw Blue Blood Sports TV, that man only had 2,000 subs, and he was working 2 jobs, talking boxing while working. Look at him now. Anytime I can call Blue anytime and ask him anything about this YouTube thing. He's an open book. Oh, yo, Drew, yo, Blue Blood is live right when you're live. That's dope. Let me end my live. I want to see what he got to say. That's me. That's me. I'm a sponge. I love boxing, and I want my brothers to succeed. How many times y'all heard me say, go subscribe to Stormy? Y'all love boxing? Go subscribe to Stormy. Y'all want to know the history of the sport? Go subscribe to Scrapbook Boxing. I'm a sponge. Yo, he got more subs than me. How'd he do that? Yo, let me go to his live. Let me hit him up on the phone. Yo, man, how'd you do that? That's me. That's me. What about y'all? What about y'all? But if you got hate in your blood, everything wrong. That's why Anakin turned to Darth Vader. He had hate in his blood. And the Sith Lord, all he did was play him. All he did was play him. So Shakur think he playing Keyshawn. But Keyshawn is a businessman. And if the business is right, he gonna say, hey man, you gonna pay me what to fight Shakur? I'm with it. And if Shakur says no, how Keyshawn supposed to take that? Businessman. Hey man, yo, you in the way of the business now. I mean, Turkey about to pay us 20 mil a piece, man. Nah, you my brother. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you hating on me. I think you scared that I'm gonna beat you and I'm gonna take those belts and I'm gonna be the man of the division. You little bro, I'm not trying to fight you. Well, you not trying to make 20 mil either. And it's on from there. And I want to see what Actor Squad has to say about that. I'm telling you it's going to happen. I'm telling you. Y'all look up the rule of 2. Y'all look up the rule of 2. And then look at Keyshawn and Shakur and see what I'm talking about. I gotta get out of here, man. Simeon Saturdays tomorrow. What we're gonna do tomorrow is we're gonna build a fighter. We're gonna build a fighter from scratch. I wanna know what kind of fighter that you like. If you were to build a fighter from scratch, what would he be? How would he behave? And what would you want to see him do? We're going to build a fighter from scratch. It's going to be an exercise tomorrow, Simeon Saturdays. Salute to everybody from the Venmo, the Zelle, the Cash App, the Super Chats. Love y'all. I love you who loves me back. I love you who loves me back. And I know some of y'all are mad or whatever, but yo, stay mad. But we're going to build a fighter tomorrow. We're going to have some fun with it tomorrow. But General should be on. Let's head over there. And I think Barrios and Ryan fight tomorrow. Y'all see I ain't really want to stick on that, right? Whatever happens, happens. But I'll catch y'all on the rebound, man. Bronx on deck.
Okay, have a crappy weekend. Hope your house burns down.
Move!
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.